Hey guys, Hank Rothrock. We're going to try this first video after the introduction. Praise the behavior that you want to see. The title really says it all. Maybe you've been at Stuart for a while, you're real bitter and angry, and you're thinking there's no way I can be positive. That's not me. Well, this is all about being you. We want you to be you. This isn't being fake positive, it's being genuine positive. You're going to praise things that you like, that you want to see in your classroom. I got some notes over here I'm going to look at. I'm not the best speaker, but I do have some insight I want to give you. Praise the behavior you want to see. It's not magic, but it's like magic. It feels like magic because it starts to change the student, but it also starts to change you. It actually changes your neural pathways. It changes the way you think. And the theory's simple. Instead of saying, sit down, be quiet, what's wrong with you? Instead of saying things like that, because everyone wants to be that person that says those kind of things. So keep doing that if you are. But say you want to try something different. Instead of saying something like that, you say things like, I see that Andreas has his pencil out and he's ready to go. I see that Jay Sean's ready to go. I see that Andrew's giving me eye contact and he's ready to go. Instead of pointing out the many things that are wrong, you're pointing out the things that are going well. And it's weird when you first start to do it because kids start to fall in line and the worst of the worst start to fall in line. Of course there are kids that are not going to fall in line. And you have to use this strategy in combination with other strategies, and I'll talk about that more. A quick story, there was a teacher last year that was just yelling at students. It was one of my teachers. I think she's okay with me sharing the story. And she was like, you need to get your head up, and you need to get your head up, and you need to get your head up. And she pointed out like 8 kids, and I go up and whisper in her ear, and I'm like, hey, there are all these kids with their heads up, and you don't realize it, but you're yelling at them too, right? It's a common mistake. We don't realize that we're yelling at everybody when we're yelling at one kid. And that's what it feels like. And so she, to her credit, she backpedaled, she apologized to the class, and she started saying, hey, you know what? A lot of you have been working the whole time, and I'm sorry about that. And, you know, thank you, Andreas, for having your head up this whole time and working. And thank you for being patient, Tommy. And thank you. And she did this. She went overboard. And she did it, and it was like magic. I got goosebumps. I got tingly. I'm not lying. The head started popping up. You can ask her about this. And it was just, it was amazing. But I guess this brings me to my next point is the strategy that worked for her that made me feel good about because I did my job that day. I came back in the next day and she was back to yelling. And so I was like, so does this not work? It's not that. It's that you got to remind yourself. And I reminded her and she went back into it. But you got to make it a habit because maybe pointing out the negative is your habit. And so you need to make your habit pointing out the positive. And kids want to work for you then. Kids start to see your room as this positive environment. And I want that for you. I want you to have that. Like with any of these strategies, you have to condition yourself. You have to work on it. You have to have it. You have to frame your mind around it. Today, I'm going to point out these positives, these behaviors I want to see, whatever that is. Maybe it's being seated. Maybe it's having their pencil out and doing the entry slip as soon as they come in. Whatever it is, praise the behavior. When you see it happen, praise it because you'll see a kid go, wait a second. And then they want to do it. It's not rocket science, but you got to do it. If you don't do it, you're right, it doesn't work. But if you try it, it will work. Try it, go for it, be brave. Or don't do anything. Just do the same thing you're doing. Or if you want to change it a little bit for yourself, if you want to push it a little bit, have the courage to try it and go for it. And maybe it fails, but try it again and tweak it. Because that's what this is about. That's what all this is about. Praise the behavior you want to see. Praise those behaviors. Positive reinforcement. Stuart Academy.